Hello and welcome to the Banner Saga. This game is a turn-based strategy game with some pretty heavy choose-your-own-adventure elements. Although you could probably flip those and say it's a choose-your-own-adventure game with some turn-based strategy game elements. That's up for you to decide. Now, I'm playing it on the GPD Win 2, and I was incredibly surprised to find that the game has full gamepad support, including the ability to remap the controls. I suggest putting the stick sensitivity to low, and you can also invert the sticks if you wish. I don't understand why, but the option is there if you need it. Other options are very light. You have audio sliders, subtitles, full screen on or off, and that's it. On the other hand, the game is 2D, and so doesn't really suffer from it too much. Although I would have liked the ability to change resolution, but no such luck. Now then, with that out of the way, let me set the world, if not the scene. The sun has suddenly stopped in the middle of the sky, and I get the sense that winter has either come early or gotten colder. At the same time, the Dredge, an old near-mythological enemy, has started moving south. They look to be some kind of stone automatons, and so far I haven't really felt like I could win against them in a straight-up fight. Yeah, they're bad news, essentially. Your village got attacked and you were forced to flee. I said near mythological because other villagers I encountered don't seem to believe that they're actually real, much less invading. I'm currently 11 days into the game, which took roughly 2 hours or so. I'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum by skipping any dialogue that pops up. Now, with all that said, let's move on to gameplay mechanics. Seeing as how your entire village is fleeing from an enemy, you need supplies in order to keep on living. And that's this thing here. I have 7 days worth of supplies. However, anytime I've been given supplies by the game, or I found supplies, it's always said plus 20 supplies, plus 30 supplies, etc. And I don't really know what the equation is for how many supplies is 1 day's worth. It could be dependent on how many men I have, or how many fighters, etc. But, yeah, right now I have 7 days worth, which I don't really know if that's enough or not, if I've squandered resources or not. You also have renown here. Also, I need to press Y. Yes. And so we have renown, which is a 50, and that's your currency. That's what you use to buy things with. Also what you use to upgrade your men with, your heroes. And we can also take a look at the map. And a loading screen. This is the map, and you can pretty much click on anything you find and just read up on it. You can pull in or out, and yeah, it's a huge map. Then again, this is like there's 3 games set in this world, so I don't know that we'll see all of this, to be honest. I'm kind of intimidated, actually, by the size of this map. Anyway, let's go back. So that's the map. We also have supplies and renown. There's also this thing here, morale, which for me is right now great. And that's the highest it can be. It gives you extra willpower, which you can use to turn the tide in combat. And yeah, while we're on combat, let's do some training, shall we? These are all my heroes right now. And I have an extra one that is currently injured. I don't want to take him into battle. And yeah, let's go. Let's go. At the start of combat, you get to choose where you want to put all of your guys or girls. And I think I'm going to have to move Oddleif a little bit closer here. Go. And I think I'm also going to move Annette a little closer as well. It would be bad if several enemies came for them and none of the melee characters was close, so it's better to have them back and behind cover. And yeah, let's go. You start every turn by choosing where you want to move, or if you just want to stay put, it's fine too. I would like to move over to this fellow girl here and attack her. Now, I can either mark her, which means everyone else I control who has a beat on her attacks her, but I don't know that anyone else is in range. Oddleif might be, but he's probably going to do less damage than me, so it's better if I just attack her. And this is where we get into the weeds. You see, she has 8 health, but health is also her strength. So if I do 5 damage to her health, she's only going to be able to do 3 damage to me next turn. I can also damage her defense, which means her health will take more damage later on. But considering I only do 1 damage to her defense, and she has 6, it's probably better to just limit how much damage she can do instantly. At this point, I can also use the willpower I mentioned earlier to do more damage if I wish. But seeing as it's just 1, doesn't really feel like it would do much for this, especially since I think Oddleif will just be able to kill her outright when it's her turn. So I'm just going to go with 5. And he chose to attack my defense. Let's see. I can almost attack that. But if I move up 2 steps, I will be able to attack her. So let's just remove her. I can flip between those 2. Only 2 though. But there we go. I just used some of my willpower to make it 3 points of damage. And I got an achievement from that. Wait, she hadn't killed anyone before? Oh, killed or killed. This is just training. It just hurt. Don't worry. Now then, I can't get into range, but I can probably put myself in a position to defend next turn. That was a nasty little ability you had there. And now we have Oddleif. She can put down a trap where if anyone steps on this tile, they get attacked. But it only lasts for a couple of turns. So let's see if we can... 50%... No. Can only attack. So I'm going to move over here. Yeah, let's just make sure everyone else do a little bit more damage. You get to move again. That's special of you. Break their armor. Yes, that's a very good idea. Bloody Flail. This is not a very nice attack, but... it usually alternates between ouch, attacking health and attacking. Yeah, I can either go there or there. You're really... I believe both Annette and Oddleif has a bead on this guy, so I'm gonna try this. They did indeed. Well, I don't want to be here, so I'm gonna do that. And... yeah. Don't want... yeah, I don't want to spread my guys onto... I'm just gonna spend extra little and... attack this guy. Yeah, 3. Well, that's not good. I don't want to lose all you guys. But it's not really... Just hope they don't get injured from this. Let's see if I can't get him. That flail is a pretty good thing because it decreases both their defense and their attack power. So, actually, do I want... he's already level 2, so I'm gonna go with letting her kill him. Just in case. So that's training and combat. Let's go check on our heroes. So while you're training, even if one or more of your heroes should fall, they don't actually get injured in that kind of combat. So Rook and Alette, why did I keep saying Annette earlier? Are both fine. Now, should we take a look here? These are the stats right here, and you can also learn more about our Rook here and his special ability, should you wish to. Now, clicking on these doesn't actually do anything, which is kind of annoying. I would like to get some kind of tip on what it actually does, but you can get that by pressing select. And you can't move the mouse cursor in this view, so let's switch to mouse mode. Armor blocks damage, simple. Strength is both damage and health, so the more damage you take, the less damage you make. Willpower is spent to move further, hit harder, and perform your ability. Does not replenish, except at the start of the next fight. Depending on your morale at the time, I guess. Exertion, the amount of willpower you can use on any given action. So, the amount I can boost an attack, basically. Some can just boost once, and some can boost twice. Break. This is probably the most important stat in the game. It's the amount of direct damage you can naturally do to an enemy's armor. And since armor is like the go-to on how to prevent damage, you want to break it as easily and quickly as possible. So, adding more to that. Sadly, I did not learn that in the 2 times I promoted this guy, so next time, after I've killed 2 more enemies, that's going to get boosted immediately. Let's see, is there anything else? Kills, yes, mentioned, points available after promotion, and you also have items. I'm using a rune here, which gives me 15% dodge. It requires me to be level 2, but once I have promoted Alette here to rank 2, she's gonna get it instead, because for some reason enemies tend to try to gang up on her all the time, and it's kind of annoying. So let's switch back to gamepad mode. And there we go, and we get the little blurb there on the... yeah. Let's see. Promotion then. Promotion costs renown to do. 5 renown per promotion. Actually, it might increase depending on what level you are. Don't know yet. We'll have to see. And yes. And as I mentioned, let's see. That and... yeah, I want to be able to boost as much as possible. And confirm. He's now level 2 and does more damage to other people's block. And there's nothing more we can do here. Now, your heroes can permanently die, but generally not from combat. Unless all of your heroes die in combat, then one of them might die. It's kind of... it's a bit of a toss-up at that point. But if just one of your guys goes down during combat, it doesn't mean he's dead or she's dead. It does, however, and going back here, when one of your heroes fall in battle, he gets, or she gets, injured. And the more injuries a hero has, the less damage they do. And the less health they have as well. So, for instance, Ivor here has 2 injuries, which means he does 2 less damage. And, yeah, the only way to heal him is to rest for a day, which I'm gonna do. Now, if we go back, he only has 1 injury. However, resting takes up an entire day of supplies, which is bad because if you lose all of your supplies, you're probably gonna end up with a bad end, and morale will plummet, and you're gonna have a bad time. And so you don't want to do that too often. Also, it can create events where I think the dredge like catch up to you, and yeah, you don't want to do it too much. So let's move on. Now we get in a little event. A small split in the trail, a few fighters stop to speak to you, each carrying a single pack. We recognize this place, one man says. Spent several years here with some kin. If they're still around, we have to warn them what's coming. With luck, we'll find you again in less than a week. So I'm gonna lose a few fighters for a few days, or permanently. Or I can give them some extra supplies. And remind everyone that they're free to do as they please. You think you'll survive there out on your own? I mean, they're from this place, so probably. Tell them they're needed here. Well, they're all carrying a single pack, so I'm not going to lose much if they leave. And none of the heroes are going with them, so... On the other hand, if I send them off with extra supplies, they might have a stronger chance of returning, and they might return with more people and more supplies. Yeah, I'm going to send them off with extra supplies. If that's all you're taking, you may never make it, you say. Grabbing a few items from a supply wagon, you strap the additional provisions on their backs, search for family instead of food. You say with a smile. The men clasp wrists and you begin departing. No, wait, not begin. Before... Yeah, I lose. But I did gain more renown. Wow. That name is very Raffensvarders. Excessive drinking have resurfaced. This time the man stumbled over some tent ropes, pulled a snagged canvas, a campfire, nearly set the supply wagon on flame. Okay! Yeah, we've had a problem with him before. Last time I just, took a rope and tussled him up until he sobered up. But... I mean, I could force him to drink nothing but water. But that might... The rest of the group might not think that's enough. So it could impact morale. Well, if I ban him from camping near others in the future, he's probably gonna die, though. Because he's not gonna be, groupthink and all that. So I'm gonna force him to drink nothing but water. He agrees, thankfully. To quit being a nuisance, many of the onlookers snort or roll their eyes, but go back to their business. Somehow you doubt it'll be long before... okay, he's probably gonna find it. Yeah. So, third time's the not-so-charm. Ooh. Dredge, shouts a man from the back of the caravan. It's, yeah, the idiot. The unabashed drunk. Staggering towards you, looking not entirely sober, he screams again. Well, he's never... Wow, I mean, this is just a game, I should just go banish him, but... This could be like a Boy Cried Wolf kind of story thing. And he might actually be right, even though the scouts return with no sighting. I don't want to take chances with the dredge, to be honest. And yeah. And also, yes, we can have time to banish him or do other things to him later. For now, we take no chances. Full day of uneasy rest passes with no sight of dredge. By the scare and delay, eventually person to left. Okay, now you're now. Okay, yeah, they took the. Well, I mean that could have gone better, and it could have gone worse, but yeah, I don't think he deserved death though. -1 clansman. No shit.
Thriving city. The walls of Frostweller now just keep the howling winds at bay. With luck, they'll hold out against dredge as well.
And thanks to that little thing, we're now at, I think, just good morale, possibly even neutral, which is not a good thing. You jostle through fallow crowds of sunken faces who appear as though they've been freezing in front of Frostweller for days. The gates are closed. You come to a stop at the bottom of the hill. Well, I don't like the idea of just waiting out here. And we have an event. This is not looking good. Why are there so many people in the fields? We can't stay outside in the open like this. Oddleif finds you among the many refugees. Rook, I just talked to some of the women here. Nobody's being let into the city. Why? It's overrun with Varl from Blotsbalkirk, Greyhorn, people from Bitra, all the nearby villages. The dredge are... Dredge? They're inside? No, okay, no. They're from all of the... The dredge are in all of the nearby areas, and all of the nearby areas have evacuated here. That's what she meant, probably. And the chieftain of Frostweller has locked himself into its great hall. That's when they closed the gates. Yeah, when the dredge come, these hills will turn red. We have to get in there. Let's ask what else we could do with our whole caravan. Yeah, south. Okay, so we could leave, but the dredge are moving south. On the other hand, no, this might be a defensible position, I guess. Yes, west might be a good idea. I don't like any of these ideas, actually, either. Yeah, let's see. Let's not get rash. We do have a few days, I think. How could we get in anyway? They closed the gate. Yeah, sure you could. Good on you. So we can check on our heroes, we can rest, we can go to the gate and see what's going on. We can also go to the market. Let's do that. And this is the market. Here I can find out, I can buy more supplies if I wish. And yeah, 1 renown gives me 3 supplies. I already have 16 supplies, which is not a lot. And that's, well, 3 days worth if you look just below that. And that might depend on how many people I have in my caravan. I'm gonna buy... Let's see... I can buy 21 straight up. I'm just gonna do that. Wish I could buy more. I can also buy some items. -2 aggro, that would be nice. Actually, I would like to give that to either Alette or Oddleif, I think. So that they can just, you know, arrow everyone in the face. Or the knee. +10 crit chance. Never deflected. +10 crit chance. Need to be level 4 though. You know what? I'm gonna buy it. And I'm also going to buy the Lumen Mother Cone. Just in case. And now I have 34 renown. Let's hope that's enough for everything I need eventually. And let's see. Now I can rest later. Heroes, gate. You know what? I think this is a good place to stop. So let's talk about the bad. I'm currently playing it on the GPD Win 2 and it's running at mostly 60 frames per second. The only truly bad dip I've experienced was in the intro cinematic, which crawled at around 15 frames per second. I thought at first maybe it was an aesthetic choice by the developers. They would have less frames to animate in the intro animation. But no, it runs at 30 FPS on my main computer, so that's not it. There are also a lot of frequent and long loading times. Well, long might be subjective, but for instance, 3 to 10 seconds loading screen just to go into your hero menu here. It's a bit obnoxious, to be honest. Then again, it is roughly that long on my main computer as well, so I don't really know what's going on there. Also bad is that Riva Tuner Statistics Server does not recognize this game at all as a game. So I can't put up my normal overlay, which I use to like see how many frames per second the game runs at and how many watts it requires and just how hot the CPU is, etc. On the other hand, the only time my fan sped up slightly was during the intro, so it's probably not that hard. Also, I can't really feel that the machine is very hot right now, so it's probably good. Probably. Finally, when I launched the game on my main computer to see if it would run better there, I was told there was a cloud save conflict and asked whether I wanted to overwrite. The message wasn't exactly clear on which save it was going to delete though, and seeing as how I had been playing for 2 hours, I started sweating a little bit there, I'm not gonna lie. But in short, if you choose to overwrite, it keeps the cloud save and deletes the local save. So keep that in mind, depending on which you want to keep or not. You can also just say no and continue whatever save you have on that machine. So, yeah. But it's something to keep in mind for the future. They really should change that message, though. On the other hand, the game is several years old, so they probably won't. Now, I'm going to go check out the gate. However, I don't really want to put up any more story spoilers, so this will have to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.